I've been driving with the UberQuest goals structure for about 3 weeks now. Is it better than the trip structure? Let's discuss. Alright, so again, Quest goal tiers are based on the amount of money you earn. They are no longer tiered based on the amount of trips you give, which is the way it was for years. So right away, let's just dive into a comparison of the numbers of my first 3 weeks driving under the UberQuest goals structure versus my last 3 weeks under the Quest trip-based structure. Again, these are 3-week averages under both structures. My average total trips, which can be expected, were higher under the trip-based Quests at 50 average per week versus 44 per week under Quest goals. My average fare under Quest goals is $10.25, and under the trip-based Quests, it was $7.79, which now that I'm incorporating a lot of longer rides under the Quest goals structure, it would make sense that the average fare is a bit higher. And my average weekly hours, it's 18.36 under UberQuest goals, and it was 16.42 under trip-based Quests, so about 2 more hours per week under the goal structure. Now my hourly rate before promotions, $27.37 per hour under Quest goals, and was $26.96 per hour under the trip-based Quest structure. Now when you add in the promotion, which are the Quest bonus amounts, my hourly was $30.25 under the trip-based Quests, and $29.28 under Quest goals. So the promotion amounts that I was offered under the trip-based Quests were higher than they have been under the goal-based Quests. The average tip is very similar, $1.05 under goals and $1.03 under trips. And here's a significant difference. My average miles per week are 450 under Quest goals and 339 under trip-based Quests. So over 100 more miles per week under goals. Alright, so overall, under the trip-based Quests, I was averaging 50 trips per week. Under goals, I'm averaging 44 trips per week, so 6 less trips per week. But under goals, I'm also driving 2 more hours per week because those trips are longer. So you add in those 2 more hours and the higher average fare, my weekly payout is about 15% higher under Quest goals than it was under trip-based Quests. But my profit margin under trip-based Quests was better because my mileage is 30% higher per week under the goal structure. I'm driving over 100 more miles per week under the goal-based structure. Now my average tip was very similar. It was $1.05 under goals and $1.03 under trip-based. Again, I only had 3 weeks of data under both to use, and over time this gap between the average tip should widen. My average tip under goal-based Quests should be higher because I'm giving longer rides. Those longer rides, typically passengers will tip better. A lot of the short rides, passengers won't even tip on those. Also, the way I filter and accept requests is I want to get paid $1 per mile for total mileage. So if the total mileage, the pickup mileage, and the on-trip mileage is, say, 30 miles, I want to be getting paid $30. But with those longer rides, some of them, I have just been accepting them even if they are a few dollars less than the mileage total. So say the ride is 30 miles, I may accept an upfront fare that's, say, $28 or $27. Now, if that keeps dipping lower and lower, I'm not going to accept those rides. But if it's close to that $1 per mile and it's a longer ride, I do accept them. It's funny that for those longer rides, they'll never pay more than $1 per mile, but sometimes they'll pay a little bit less than $1 per mile. Overall, in my opinion, the goal structure, giving those longer rides is just better in my opinion. It's not as monotonous. When you're giving all those short rides, it just becomes monotonous sometimes. You're hanging around downtown areas, and when you're giving those longer rides, you end up in different areas. There's a lot more variety. Now, under this goal-based structure, if you still wanted to treat it like it was a trip-based structure, you could. You still could give like 50 rides, shorter trips if you wanted to. Or on the flip side, you could just give a bunch of long rides. Say you filter out anything less than $20. But if you choose to go about it that way, there could be a lot more waiting around. You could be driving a lot more hours. And again, I prefer giving a lot more of those longer rides now, but I do have to accept that my profit margin has reduced. I'm driving a lot more miles. But those of you that have driven with the goal-based structure for a while now, what do you think of it? How do you prefer it over the trip-based structure? Leave a comment below and let us know. Thanks again for watching, and drive safe. Thanks.